Hi, it's Jo Martin here, and this is going to be a little bit triggering for some of you, but what can I say? I'm Australian, I like to say it how it is, so here it goes. How do you know if a coach is fake? Now, fake is a strong word, and before I get going, let me be clear about one thing. There's not currently any minimum professional standards for qualifying as a coach. There's a few independent bodies that will certify you, but basically there's no training you have to do or registered body that you have to join, like being a doctor, for instance. You don't have to do anything. So I'm not talking about someone who's literally lying the same way you might say of someone who's lied about whether or not they've got a driver's license or lied about whether or not they've got a medical degree. And I'm not really talking about false identities either, quite frankly. That's not something I want to wade into here. What I'm talking about here is someone who is marketing themselves as a coach, yet doesn't really have the basic skill set that they need to help you to get the results that you want, or to help a client get the results that they want. They're fake, if you like, in the sense that they might be making promises, but they're simply not going to be able to help you to get those results, and the investment isn't going to be worth it. So how can you tell? Well, a few things to look at in my very humble opinion. Number one, does your coach have training? Now, this is kind of a basic one, but have they completed some form of training that means they've got some fundamental understanding of what they're going to do when you work together? Since coaching isn't a regulated industry, it's up to the individual coach to decide when they're ready to practice. And for most of us, we want to know that someone we're hiring is going to do a good job, right? Not every coach will have completed professional training, but if they have, I'd expect them to be able to talk knowledgeably about what it was, what it taught them, and if they haven't, to have a really compelling explanation as to why, and probably some pretty powerful client testimonials to back them up, the kind that you can really verify, you know. Don't get me wrong, I've worked with people in the past who've kind of called themselves a coach, but I wasn't paying them for coaching because they had not done any coaching training. I was paying them for mentorship. Tell me what you did and what you would do in my situation. Give me advice. That kind of thing, you don't necessarily need some training in. But if you really want to help someone from a coaching perspective, you need to have some basic coaching skills under your belt. The second thing to look out for is, does the work that they're planning on doing with you have some kind of endpoint? Are they focused on getting you to a certain destination? Are you on some kind of a structured program or have at least an agreed goal or intention or coaching plan? For instance, in our coaching certification, we train our coaches to deliver a 12-week program. Now, some of them do it a little longer than that, some of them do it a little shorter, but we're talking about a structured program using the tools that our coaches are trained in to be able to facilitate some really profound shifts for their clients and get them somewhere specific. We've seen that happen again and again, so we know it's reliable. But if a coach is suggesting that you sign up for some indefinite period of time, or let's just do some coaching together, and doesn't really have a clear outcome in mind, or at least help you to get a clear outcome in mind, that's a bit of a red flag for me, because how are you going to know when you're done? What are you aiming to achieve? These questions are all things you need to be asking before you start working with someone, and you want to establish partnership with any potential coach that you work with. Finally, a real coach will have a track record. Some case studies, some testimonials that mean you've got an idea of what you're getting. Now, don't get me wrong, if your coach is brand new, those testimonials or those track records might be from practice clients. There might only be a few, but you want to know that at least one other human being who's been in a similar position to you got through the program with that person and got something out of it. That's a bare minimum, right? So be asking that and check in with that person. Make sure they're definitely happier than when they started the coaching program. This is one of the reasons why in our own coaching certification program we have a coaching practical part where someone has to take at least 3, if not 4 or 5 people through the program so that they've had experience before they go out and hang up their shingle as a coach. I think it's really important. There's far too many people out there just deciding one day that they want to start coaching and then going for it without any training. Look, I'll be honest with you, it kind of breaks my heart that I even need to be making this video, but I know that there really are people out there who are not going to be honest with you about what they're able to do. And it might not be intentional, they might just think they can do something and then they get into a situation where they're out of their depth and out of their league. It might be for the best reason possible. Their heart might be absolutely in the right place, but if they can't achieve what their marketing says they're going to achieve, then from my point of view, that's straight out lying. So that's enough of my view. What do you think, honey? Are there red flags that you would look for in someone if they're thinking about being a coach? Have you maybe had an experience where you've worked with someone before, they've called themselves a coach, and you've got in and thought, wow, this person just can't even hold the space right? Let me know. Leave a comment below. It's good for us all to learn, especially if we're entertaining becoming coaches ourselves, to make sure that we know what not to do, right? So share in the comments section, share this video if it's been interesting for you, and like if you'd like to hear more from us. Speak to you soon.